This lesson helps you understand equations and their solutions. In algebra, an equation is a mathematical sentence. It has two expressions, joined by this symbol, the verb of the sentence called the equal sign. For example, here's an equation that's true. Here's an equation that's false. Here's an equation that can be true or false depending on the value you substitute for the variable x. For example, if you substitute x equal 8, you can see the equation is true. The value of the variable that makes the equation true is the solution. Finding the solution to an equation is called solving the equation. You can probably solve this equation just by asking yourself, what number plus 2 equals 10? If you think about it for a minute, you can see that x would have to be two numbers before 10. So you would subtract 2 from 10 to get 8. And think, that's got to be the solution. Being the careful person you are, however, you would check the answer by asking yourself, is 8 plus 2 equal to 10? Since the answer is yes, you would have the solution, x equal 8. For more complex equations, you're going to need a better way to find the solution. So, starting over, the more formal algebraic method is to subtract 2 from both sides of the equation. On the left side, plus 2 minus 2 is 0, and on the right, 10 minus 2 is 8. Then, since x plus 0 is equal to x, you have x equal 8, the solution. Subtracting 2 from both sides of the equation is an example of one of the properties of equality. The properties of equality say that if you perform the same operation on both sides of an equation, it remains true. For the addition property, the example starts with 2 equals 2, which is a true statement. When you add 3 to both sides, you get 5 equals 5, which is still true. Notice that if you add 3 to one side and 4 to the other side, the equation becomes false. For each of these other examples, subtraction, multiplication, and division, you can see that if you perform the same operation on both sides, the equations remain true. An equation is kind of like a balance scale. You always want to keep it in balance. To do this, as long as you perform the same operations on both sides, like adding 3, it remains in balance. If you don't perform the same operation on both sides, it's out of balance. Here's another example of using the properties of equality. In this case, you would add 3 to both sides of the equation. On the left side of the equation, negative 3 plus 3 is 0, and on the right, 12 plus 3 is 15. Then, since x plus 0 is equal to x, you have x equal 15, the solution to the equation. Remember to always check the solution. This lesson helped you understand about equations and their solutions. This lesson is brought to you by the Math Fun Academy. Its continuing mission: to explore strange new worlds, to seek out new math and new equations, to boldly go where no math student has gone before.